we didn't realise how important this last leg was. It's you work here as hard as you can on your nav from London to Adelaide, and it just gets thrown out the window from Adelaide to Sydney. It's everybody, like, it's just not us, it's everybody is very unhappy about it.
Also, Mr. and Mrs. Irwin from Zambia were competitors in this great race. What have you got to say about this?
Well, we feel the same as Bill. Coming from London to Adelaide required a lot of skill and navigation. You accumulate all those points, and in the last dash we accumulated, I think, 10,300 points as far as Adelaide.
Now, would you have gone into the race if you knew it was a straight-out thrash from Adelaide to Sydney?
We thought it was from London to Sydney, you know, and the handicapping wouldn't change. But we lost 7,500 points in this last two-hour hop, and there was nothing we could do. We were going full throttle, flat out. There wasn't a case of having to navigate here or there. It was just a straight course, as Bill said.
Now, would you have entered this race in the first place if you knew it was going to be a straight-out thrash from Adelaide to Sydney and not from Adelaide to Sydney?
I would have thought twice about it.
Why?
Well, we feel that far too much emphasis was put on the Adelaide-Sydney section. We also think it unfortunate that so much time was spent in Adelaide. I think it would have been a much better race had it been London-Sydney without a long break in Adelaide.
The object of me speaking here is on behalf of the boy's mother and myself to appeal to anyone who may be able to help the police in their investigations. Anyone at all who may know something, feel something, to give the police a lead, to help them to take away the risk of this killer damaging anyone else. Please come forward and help us to help yourselves.
I'm joining with Mrs. Blom in this joint appeal. If anyone could come forward at all with any information whatsoever, they may think it's only a small thing, but it may be of importance to the police, and whether they're relatives, friends or acquaintances of the person who has done this terrible crime, please come forward with anything at all. Go to the police station and give help, because both of us, both Mrs. Blom and myself, would not wish this to happen to any other mothers or to any other young couple.
Alan, did you in fact leave Australia for the starting line?
Yes, we did. We left Darwin with full intentions. We knew then it was too late to get to the starting line. We had full intentions of going to Singapore and joining the race people there and flying back with them.
But how far did you get?
Well, in actual fact, we got as far as Dili in Portuguese Timor.
And what happened then?
When we arrived there, we found there was no fuel for a start. This was very time-consuming because we had to mix car petrol with 130 octane. The car petrol, of course, we had to filter twice, in actual fact, to get the dirt out of it and the water and sludge that's in the drums. But then when that was done, we found that we had electrical problems, loose prop, and all sorts of minor things. Every time we flew it, we found there was something else wrong.
What was the highlight of the trip for you, John?
Oh, I think leaving Australia and going to Dili. I think the longest leg we did was a stretch across the water to Portuguese Timor.
Did you have any worries of landing in the water at all?
Oh no, actually I'd prefer landing on the water than I would on land.
In the red corner, my guest Kevin Eccleston, who can't get a fight, and in the blue corner, a commentator who doesn't want a fight. How are you, Kevin?
Good, thanks, Noel.
Kevin, what's the problem with you and the boxing game?
Well, there's two federations to start with, the association and the federation. And I go down and have a fight. Well, if I beat the boy, well, then they just skip around me. They won't give me any more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the main problem down there now, because of a certain chap running it.
Now, your problem also is that you've already beaten the champion in your class, and now you can't get another fight with
Yeah,
him.
well, that's a fact too. And he's Australian champion now.
Now, what weight are we talking about?
Lightweight.
And who's the other fighter?
Freddie Wicks.
Now, how many fights have you had, Kevin?
I've had about 73 amateurs, and about 6 professionals.
How many have you lost?
3 altogether.
Well, you've had a pretty good record.
Yes.
How many times have you beaten Wicks?
I beat him once in amateur, knocked him out in amateur,
And
just before he turned professional.
now, in amateur, what titles did you hold?
Well, I hold about 3 altogether. There was a City of Sydney, state champion. Oh, there's a few more that I just can't remember them offhand.
And you had a chance of going to the Olympic Games,
Yes,
didn't you?
had a chance, yeah.
And you won something for that too?
Yes, I got a few trophies for that.
Now, as a professional fighter, your problem is getting fights.
Getting fights, yeah.
And who do you think is going to be the real instigator behind you getting these fights?
Well, Barry Manners and that are pushing it very well.
They're prepared to put money up for you if you can get a fight.
Yeah, with Wicks.
And how do you think you'd go against Wicks?
Well, I think I'd go pretty good, yes. Pretty good.
Who else have you fought in the professional?
Well, I fought John Batty, and he's rated second now to Johnny Famersham in the Australian featherweight division, yes.
Well, you couldn't fight as a featherweight anymore, really.
Oh, not really. I want to really fight lightweight. I can fight featherweight if I really wanted to, but I wouldn't.
What do you actually weigh now?
Oh, about 9 stone 9.
And what would you find down to fight?
Well, about that, I'd keep at that.
Keep
now.
at it. You don't have a weight problem,
No,
no?
no.
Well, you'd be one of the few boxers that don't suffer from this.
Yeah, that'd be
Why?
just natural.
Any particular reason do you feel?
No, it doesn't matter. I can eat all day and it's still the same weight in the afternoon.
And how hard do you train?
Oh, I train pretty hard. Yes.
What is a routine day in training?
Oh, well, I do about 20 minutes on the rope, skipping, and then I do about 4 rounds on the bag, about 3 on the ball, and sparring, and shadow boxing, and ground work.
What about road work?
Yeah, I do that early in the morning.
About how many miles?
Oh, about 5 or 6.
Well, Kevin, there's only one thing I can say, and I'm sure that Newcastle will agree with me. Newcastle has been a great sporting town and certainly a great fighting town, because you've only got to think back to the great Dave Sands and many others that fought in Newcastle. And I am sure that once Kevin Eccleston gets a chance at the champion Wicks, that we will have a new Australian champion in Newcastle.